Over the years, the oldest anarchy server in Minecraft has become known for its crazy builds, griefed spawn region, bizarre personalities, and the countless conflicts that have occurred. Yet underneath it all is a vast amount of players that you never see. Players that wander the server without settling down, or making a base, or calling any place their home. Some don't even interact with other players. These are Minecraft nomads. They wander the wastes of anarchy, hunting for treasure, exploring old ruins, and encountering oddities. An entire subculture within a Minecraft server. Let me give you a first-hand look at the nomadic lifestyle of 2b2t's. So, I'll be telling you what is a nomad setup, the pros and cons of being a nomad, and then how many nomads there are on the server. You might actually be surprised. But now, what is a nomad? Nomads are players that don't have an actual base and simply wander the server, scavenging ruins and bases, looking for treasure and for useful items. A typical nomad will have the following things. They'll have an ender chest for storage, shulker boxes, a silk touch pickaxe, a fully enchanted fishing rod for food, and optionally, if you choose, a horse or a donkey. These items in combination can make you self-sufficient, and you'll be able to feed yourself and store your items safely as you travel. You will not need a base. So let me show you what a typical nomad setup on 2b2t looks like. If you want to live completely on your own with no base, this is how you do it. Now if you take a look at my ender chest, it is completely filled to the brim with shulkers. It is nothing but shulkers. I've got shulkers dedicated to armor pieces like my chest plate, my helmets, my boots, my pants. I've got griefing materials for like wither skeleton skulls. I've got some TNT, some other equipment going on. Basically anything I could possibly want on 2b2t I carry with me in my e-chest. I mean stacked armor for additional storage. I use ender chests as a way to store obsidian because one ender chest, when you break it with a fortune pick instead of silk touch, it'll give you 8 pieces of obsidian per ender chest. So it's way easier to store it that way. Got my, of course, TNT shulker. As you can see, it's all I need on 2b2t to survive. You know, I've got my weapons in here. I've got XP bottles if I need to enchant for some reason. It's all good. Now let's say, hypothetically, I do want to stay in a certain area for, a period of time, but I don't want to build a full-on base. I want to just build like a little rendezvous point. I keep a shulker in my inventory that is dedicated to building materials. So just for now, I'm going to put some totems away. Usually not a smart idea on 2b2t, but for now, we're going to do it. I'm going to take out obsidian, doors, some windows as well, some bone meal, a veteran banner, of course. Take all this stuff out and watch. We're going to build a cozy spawn cabin in about a minute. So let's make the foundation first. I want to make it 3x3 with an additional block here for the foundation for the door. I use obsidian mainly because it's way harder for noobs to grief something like this. And not only that, but a lot of people are too lazy to grief obsidian because it just takes so long to do. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to make the frame here for the windows. We're going to get this up here like this at the very top. We're going to create the little door frame here. Just like that. And then right up top there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. So now we're going to put the door on the front like that. We're going to use a button to get inside so that way if you're AFK, mobs are not going to crawl in on you. We're going to go ahead and put a pressure plate on the inside so that way you can just walk to get the door open. Put that extra obby up there. So once you're in here, you can put down like your furnace to cook fish that you catch with your mending rod. Put down your crafting bench because that's pretty standard. And you can even put down an e-chest as well for easy access to your goods. But we don't want baby zombies coming in here, so we will put some extra window panes just like that. And if we were on grass right now, of course, I would be able to put down some bone meal to make flowers and stuff to make it more homely. And finally, there we go. We now have a easy temporary structure. It took us like 60 seconds to build, and I can abandon this whenever I want and go build a new one somewhere else. Such is the life of a nomad. Now, who's ready for some fishing? I'm in the mood for some salmon tonight, baby. But for real, let me tell you more about why the nomad lifestyle on 2b2t is appealing to people. Like any play style, there are pros and there are cons to being a nomad. One of the best benefits is not being able to be griefed. You can't get griefed if you have no base. The worst someone can do is kill you. But a smart nomad can continue where they left off after a death thanks to smart storage in their e-chest. Another is exploration. Not being tied down to a base means you are free to travel the server without worrying about covering your tracks or attempting to hide something. You're free to hunt for bases, stashes, and old ruins. Being a nomad is time efficient. For some, playing on 2b2t requires a huge time commitment, as well as a priority queue purchase every month, and that can add up. But nomads can come and go as they please. You can hop on anytime you want, travel a bit, and then log off again. You also don't have to worry about a base being griefed or a stash being raided. While the nomad lifestyle is very freeing, there are some downsides. The first, storage limits. Because you are limited to your inventory and e-chest, your options for storage are limited if you plan to hoard a particular item or block. Since you only carry what you need, you won't have room for novelty items such as dead bushes or white concrete powder. The list goes on. You can do what I do and store additional items on alt accounts, but many do not have that option. Another downside is that dupes are difficult. 2b2t is known for its occasional dupe exploits, and it's easiest to capitalize on an item duplication exploit when you have a base or a stash to store items at. Nomads will have a harder time taking advantage of these exploits. The best that most can do is simply replenish the items that they've used up if they start running out. Finally, it's harder to stand out as a nomad. Generally, the most well-known players on the server are those that build or are part of group bases. By being a nomad, it can be harder to make a name for yourself and establish relationships with other players. Although, considering the people you find on this server, maybe that's not such a bad thing. But speaking of harder to stand out, let's take a look at just how many players on the server are nomads. So I put out a poll asking just my viewers that play on 2b2t which of these four options they saw themselves as on the server: a builder, a griefer / PvPer, a nomad, or an exploiter or technical player. Now, with 71,000 votes, it's clear no one actually listened to when I asked for people that actually play on 2b2t, but regardless, this provides some interesting insight as to generally what 2b2t players consider themselves as. As you can see, almost half of the people that voted in the poll said that they were nomads and did not have an actual base. So it is very likely that half of the current player base of 2b2t could be nomads such as myself. Almost 30% were builders, and the rest were split up between griefers, PvPers, and exploiters and technical players. But it really just goes to show you that there is a silent majority of players on 2b2t where they don't build. They simply wander around, looking at all the sights and sounds, you know? So it's a very interesting look into how the 2b2t player base actually plays the server. We are the majority, I guess. Us nomads, we are the silent majority. Pretty crazy to think about. But anyway, that's it for today's video, everyone. I hope you found this interesting subculture fascinating on 2b2t, and it is one of the easiest ways to play on the server. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram to stay updated on when new 2b2t content is coming out. And also make sure to follow me on Twitch for my live streams. But that's it, everyone. If you plan to become a nomad on 2b2t, just remember to stay alive out there, will ya? Take it easy, Fit Fam, and we'll see you next time.